always wants to know if period undies smell, and well, hey y'all, it's Nate. Welcome back to my little corner of YouTube. Today we're talking all about periods, so if that's not your thing, you may want to click off of this video. Timestamps are in the description box if you want to skip ahead, but before you go, make sure you like this video so you know you enjoyed it, and leave a comment if you have something to say. That engagement really does help my channel and allows me to bring you more videos like this one. So let's just jump right in. I made the switch to period undies kind of accidentally. I actually did an Instagram series similar to the one that I'm doing right now in this video 3 years ago with the intention of finding alternative period methods for my little sister who has Down syndrome. And period undies was one of the options that I tested, and I just kind of fell in love with them after that. I wanted something that would be easy for her with, of course, her different needs in life, and that's truly the motivation behind all of this. There are a number of period undie brands, which is so amazing. Just to think back to even my mom's or my grandma's generation, they had like one or two options, that's it, and that's all. And there also wasn't as much open conversation around periods as there is now. The brand that I use exclusively now is Rebel Cares. The brand is size inclusive and gender inclusive, and I just love them. While this video is not sponsored by them, they did gift me a few of items from their new collection, and I'm going to be talking about those in this video, in addition to some of their products that I purchased with my own money. So I posted a question both on my Instagram story and on my community tab post asking if anyone had any questions about period undies. So I'm just gonna go through the questions that you all asked. So this question is asking if period underwear is something that you free bleed in. Yes and no. I think the original notion and meaning behind free bleeding was to literally bleed without anything catching the blood, so just bleeding straight down your leg. From my understanding, it was started to bring awareness to period poverty and the fact that there are people who have periods who don't have access, don't have money to tampons, cups, pads, or period undies. So by default, they have to free bleed. So it was meant to shine a light on that, not as something that people just do. Period undies allow you to free bleed in the same way that a pad would, so not down your leg, just it's not catching it at the source like a tampon or a cup would. There's something catching it right as it exits, I guess. Honestly, this was the biggest thing for me to overcome initially because I just hate the feeling of the blood coming out. If you know, you know. So I'm going to answer this question in the way that I think it was asked, and that's, do I wear one per day? Again, the answer here is that it depends. It depends on your flow, right? I don't know about anybody else, but my period changes every few years, it feels like. It used to be that my heaviest day was day 1. Now my period starts off really light and my heaviest day starts on day 2. Periods can change for a number of reasons. Age in general, hormones, stress, all of the things. So if it changes sometimes, no big deal unless it becomes so constantly changing that you feel you need to see a doctor. Rebel Cares has a complete range of absorbency levels ranging from light to ultra, so they literally have me covered no matter what. On my heaviest days, I usually go through 2 pairs of the ultra. I'll just show them to you right here. This is the ultra level, you know, because it both says ultra and it has all 5 of the little blood droplets full. Ultra is the max level that they go to. These are called Charlie, and they are basically in boy short style. So you do really feel and you are protected. The website says that these should last about 12 hours. So wearing 2 of these on heavy days equals out to exactly that. So I'm going to do my best to show you the inside of these. It may be a little hard because you can't really feel how thick it is, and you can kind of see the outline here up here of like where it absorbs everything, and I think it might have 2 or 3 layers of absorbing. Let's read, and I'll put a picture of this up on the screen so you can read with me. So yeah, gusset, which we all know is that middle piece. Regular panties have them as well. Gusset 1, gusset 2. So yeah, it has 2 gussets, and it's telling you right here what they are made out of. And yeah, these are the ultras. Now, disclaimer, you might be saying 2 a day, so that means you have to change in the middle of the day. Yes. Also keep in mind that I work from home. That being said, even on the days where I go into the office, I'm not in the office for 12 hours, so I can still get away with wearing one of these at the office, and I just come home, shower, and change immediately, and it's not a big deal. On days when my period starts to lighten up, I can get away with 1 of these Charlies a day. When I say 1, I mean 1 for daytime, 1 for nighttime. So when I'm saying that I go through 2 of these a day, I mean 2 in a daytime, and then usually that second one that I put on a day covers me through the night, and then I change in the morning. They also did just rebrand. So some of them on the inside are going to say Rebel, some of them say Cares, but the rebrand is just Rebel Cares now, and the inside just says Cares. So I'm going to show you the different absorbency levels that I have from them. These are a pair that they sent me, and these are a sleep short. So these are specifically meant to be slept in. Heads up, I do sometimes sleep in the Charlies on those heavier days, nights, just because they're not labeled as sleep ones. You can still sleep in them. They're all underwear. So these are the specific sleep shorts. I like these design because they have these kind of like ridges on them. And you can see here that this is from the rebrand, and the absorbency level is 1 less on this, so 4 of the droplets instead of 1. So I think that makes it super plus. So this is super plus, so still great. Like I said, these are for nighttime. And just so you know, it's not as thick, but that protection does carry on up the back. I know when you're moving around and sleeping, that might be a concern. It does carry up through the back, so don't worry about that. These are the sleep shorts. I showed you the Charlie from the new line, but let me show you what the Charlie looks like in the older pair. So you can tell these are older. One, because I initially bought the wrong size, so these are medium, but they still fit. So this is medium, and you can tell it's kind of like coming off a little bit. So yeah, obviously these have been worn. And yeah, so same thing. The boy shorts that I mentioned, and they're super snug and fit great. I actually have a few of those. Here's another pair of those from the older before the rebrand. Another pair of those. So those are my most. If you haven't figured it out, those are the ones I wear the most, because they are meant to really be that long lasting. So for me, it's just easy to throw these on. And then these are the Remy. So they also sent me these. These are super plus as well. I'm not sure if these are meant to be day or nighttime, but I wore these during the day and they worked fantastic. And heads up, they do have other absorbency levels. I just don't have them. So for me, it's like, whatever, I'll wear a little extra padding on the lighter days. They also have a thong that I've been wanting to try. I need to get that. I've been saying I wanted to try it for like a year now. But I'm really curious how it works. It has great reviews. So we're going to get more into this bag a little bit later. Let's get into some more questions. Do they leak? I have absolutely never had a problem with leakage with the Rebel Cares brand. So this, of course, leads back to proper care, which I'll get into next. So aside from worrying about smell, I think that this is one of the biggest things that keeps people from switching over to period undies. These have to be rinsed out by hand until they run clear. So if seeing, blood diluted by water, or getting blood diluted with water on your hands is going to be too much for you, then this probably isn't the option for you. And that is true across brands. Like I've said, I've tested several brands. I just landed on loving this one. This brand really stood out to me because 1, their products work. 2, they're just amazing people. They sent products to my little sister out of the kindness of their hearts. And I just truly can't express how good they are as humans. Like, finding good people, when you find them, you stick with them, okay? It doesn't matter which brand you're using. They all have to be rinsed out by hand. They all pretty much have the same care instructions. After you rinse them out, you can throw them in the wash, no fabric softener, and you have to line dry them. Now I do it in a way that's a little different, but I actually think this way is a lot less messier. I literally get in the shower with the undies on, take them off in the shower, rinse them into the shower until they run clear, and I'm gonna stress that because that is important, and I'll explain why a little bit later. And then I dry them and continue to shower per usual. If you don't have your own bathroom, or if you have a partner and you don't have your own bathroom, hopefully they are supportive enough and don't mind you hanging and drying your period undies. I don't see why they would, but some people are kind of like that. But hopefully that doesn't bother them. So once they hang dry from the rinse, I then put them in this bag. So I have several of these bags. I have 2 right here. I usually, when I am on my period, I usually keep my clean ones in the smaller bag and put my dirty ones in the bigger bags, so that when they wash, they have a lot of room to move around and get everything. Just to reiterate, you cannot put fabric softener on these, and you cannot put them in the dryer. Now, I'd be lying if I said I have never done either of those things, but I'm here to tell you what you should be doing, not what I do. And ultimately, that's going to end up affecting the lifespan of my undies. And as we all know, these are not the cheapest, so protect your investment. Also, no one asked this, but yes, they are a higher upfront cost, but to me, spending money on tampons and pads every month quickly equates to having 5 to 7 pairs of these. You're gonna save a lot of money. You can get these little mesh baggies on Amazon. I'll drop a link below as well. Period undies are designed to be worn alone. A good brand like Rebel Cares is gonna make sure that they can in fact do just that. So they put a lot of research and testing into making sure that they can hold different flow levels, and all of those things. And Rebel Cares has a ton of information on their website if you want to dig into it more. I'm just kind of doing highlights of my personal experience here, but yeah, tons of information on their site, and I'll drop that in the description box as well. I will say a few things here. When I first started wearing period undies, it was 2020 and we were all inside. So I really had a very unique opportunity to test them without fear of leaking or any of that IRL, because I was at home, and if anything did go wrong, I could just hop in the shower and it wasn't a problem. So if you are nervous about going out into the world, I get it. Try testing them on a day where you don't leave the house. I know some of us are on the go nonstop, but if you have a chance to do this, try testing them on a day where you don't leave, so that you can feel okay with saying, okay, I'm not going to wear anything with them and I'm just going to see how they work on their own. You can also test out different absorbency levels. So say you weren't comfortable with testing them out on a heavy day. Try them on a medium or light day and go out and see how that works, and see if you feel comfortable, if you experience any leaking or anything like that. I understand that jumping right into it on your heaviest days might seem overwhelming. I get that. So yes, these can be worn with pads, tampons, cups, all of those things, but they are comfy enough and designed to be worn by themselves. If your flow is really heavy, grab a couple of these Charlie pairs like me, that ultra absorbency level, and just go for it. Everyone always wants to know if period undies smell, and well, yes and no. Periods have smells, guys. Vaginas have smells. If you're one of those special people whose vagina smells like water, congratulations, we all celebrate you for that. But that's not the case for most people out here. So if you pull them down to use the restroom, you may smell that. But who else is going to be that close to you in the bathroom to know that? And I also think that that's something that you would experience with a tampon or a pad as well. I can't speak to cups because I've never used the cup. Now, if you experience your undies having a lingering smell even after you rinse and wash them, then that's different. I've noticed that a couple of my pair do have that lingering smell, and I think it all boiled down to the fact that I wasn't rinsing them out enough in that initial step, and so over time it just kind of built up. So that's why I stress making sure that when you rinse them out, you rinse them out until they run clear, and then a little more thoroughly rinse them out in that first step. In most cases, if you do experience that lingering smell, you can soak them in part vinegar, part water, and that will remove it. I did have one pair that was too far gone, so I had to throw it away, but that is a solution, and if you just rinse them out properly, you won't have that problem. Another thing I wanted to point out is that if you are a tampon wearer and you switch to these, you might start to notice blood clots, which I found out is normal. When I first made the switch, I was seeing blood clots in the underwear sometimes. I was kind of scared because I was like, I've never seen this before. But it's just because on a tampon, you're not likely to see it as much, as clearly as you would in a pad or in a cup, I would assume, or in period undies. So yeah, that might happen. Don't be alarmed. From what I've gathered, they're normal. I love this question because I wish I would have had alternative options when I was a teen getting a period for the first time. I mean, I cannot tell you the shame that I felt every time I had to like slowly unwrap a pad, not even tampons at that point because my mom wouldn't let me wear them, slowly unwrap a pad in the school bathroom and like wrap it back up and open the squeaky trash can door and please, nobody wants to do that. Like, I mean, it's definitely high time that we have some other options. So as mentioned, Rebel Cares is really size inclusive. They run from extra small to 7X in most cases. And I'm also pretty petite, so the extra small to smalls fit me. One more thing I want to mention that wasn't necessarily brought up, but that I think is amazing, and I wanted to bring it up. I've heard that these are great for postpartum. Obviously, I don't have any children and have never been pregnant, so I can't speak to it personally. But I do have a few friends having babies this year, and I think I want to gift them some of these. Everyone always buys presents for the baby, of course, because it's amazing. But being pregnant and having a kid in postpartum is a lot on you mentally, a lot on you physically, and on your body. You have to recover. So I always like getting a gift for the mom as well, because they're going to be having to go through all of these changes and also caring for a little one who can't do anything on their own. For me, thinking about having to change a pad or tampon every 2 to 3 hours while I'm also taking care of a newborn sounds like my worst nightmare. So yeah, if you don't have a period right now, but you're currently pregnant and are going to be having a baby soon, keep these in mind for postpartum. And that is it for this video. If you have any questions at all about periods or period undies or any of the things that I covered in this video, let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Subscribe. Come back to my little corner of YouTube. Yep. What is this app called? Do y'all like this shirt? I thrifted this shirt, and like the details on it are amazing. Hey y'all, it's Nate. Welcome. No, that was too much head. What was I doing all that? I'm gonna button this shirt. I don't like how it's like like that. There we go. Now I look like I'm going to Sunday school.
You feel your energy from I can feel your energy from I can feel your energy from two planets away.